Alright, you're watching the National Sandbag News live stream presented by Good Vibration Motorsports. Getting ready to kick off Heads Up Eliminations. Got Ron Moran up in the tower, going to give an invocation, and then we'll do the national anthem. So Ron Moran with a great invocation there. And here we go with the national anthem. Top Alcohol round 1 coming up right now. It's going to be Jake Morton over here in the near lane, Ford Racing Team. Out of Taft, California against Gary Mink, badge of the bone over on the far side, out of Fresno. Your number 2 and 3 qualifiers this weekend. Over here in the near lane takes the win. What a race. 246 to a 247.
Thank you.
Great job by the Morton team there, getting around Gary Mink. 246 over here on the near side. Hits by a 2:47 for Gary Mink. What a drag race. Great way to start off eliminations here in the top alcohol class. Morton team's over here right behind me. They are quite excited. Anytime you can get around Gary Mink, that's a huge, huge, huge accomplishment. So great job to Bob, David, Garth, and the whole crew there. Getting the Morton ride down through there for the win light. So Jake Morton will come back around for the final round later on this afternoon to race Jim Hammond. So up next, Jim Hammond will run his round 1 bye run. Jim, your number 1 qualifier. You're at 2:44 in qualifying. He'll have to run quicker than Morton's 2:46 to get lane choice in the final. This weekend, the left lane seems to be a little bit quicker, so probably the favored lane for the final. So we'll see if Jim can outrun what Jake just went and try to get lane choice. So you're watching the National Sand Drag News live stream presented by Good Vibrations Motorsports. We're at the Avenal Sand Drag Spring Nationals in Avenal, California. Here on Sunday around noon times, we're kicking off heads-up eliminations. We had the junior classes on track this morning, as well as the motorcycle pro bracket classes. So we're rolling through this first elimination round of the heads-up categories. We'll have finish up top alcohol here with Jim Hammond in the April's Dream top alcohol dragster. Jim out of Ontario, California. The April's Dream Lucas Oil team here. See what Jim can put down. He ran the 44 first session on Friday. He slowed a little bit in the second session. He struggled somewhat yesterday. Had a couple runs where he got a little out of shape. But we'll see what they can do right here. They saw Jake Morton run 2:46 in front of him, so the track's definitely there to lay down a good lap. So we're going to run Jim Hammond, and then we got a couple cars that are up here doing some testing this weekend. The Fast Force car, Sally Rasmussen, and the Pro Mod Jeep with Dave Huffman. Those two will be coming out making a pass before we get to round 1 at Top Eliminator. So the Hammond team's giving the signal to start when they are ready. With a 4. He matched his qualifying number 2:44 with a 4. What a lap for Jim Hammond. Another great pass for Jim. So he will have lane choice in the final. Jim, he started in about the center of the lane. The car drifted to the left going down the track. He got a little off to the edge in the shutdown area, but he was able to get everything stopped safely, made the turn down there. Here at Avenal, they have an extremely long shutdown area, so lots of room to get her back under control. And Jim, being the veteran driver that he is, had no problem getting her stopped. So Jim Hammond, 2:44. He'll be coming back for the final against Jake Morton with lane choice. That could be key. Like I said, the left lane's kind of been the favored lane for the top alcohol cars and top eliminator this weekend. So we're going to pair them up side by side. It's going to be the Fast Fours dragster of Sally Rasmussen up against Dave Huffman in the Blown Alcohol Pro Mod Jeep. Put them side by side, put on a show for the crowd here. Nice crowd in the grandstands this afternoon. So, like I said, Sally came up here to do some testing as well as Dave Huffman. We've seen Dave run as quick as 3:03 this weekend. Sally's best has been 3:24. Looks like we're going to run him by himself, so Dave Huffman will be on a solo run. So that was a 3:23 for Dave Huffman. Sounded like it kind of pulled the motor down a lot when he launched, and then it started. It looked like it put a few holes out down at the end of the track. So 3:23 for Dave Huffman. I have a feeling they'll be back to make another pass later on this afternoon. They've been trying to get Dave some seat time in the car. The Jeep has a ton of potential. Jimmy DePass made a pass in it at the race in Saboba last month, and laid down a really nice 289 lap, shutting off way before the finish line. So the car's got potential, just got to get the driver some more seat time, and we'll see them out in the fall at the SCSTA events. Alright, Sally Rasmussen coming up here in the near lane, the Poison Ivy Fast Fours dragster. The only Fast Fours car up here this weekend. Sally and her husband Mike, the husband-wife team there. Sally getting some precious seat time this weekend. She made a couple hits on Friday. They had somewhere to be yesterday, but they're back today to make some more runs. Try to get Sally some more seat time. She's getting better and better in the car each time out. Sally with a little trouble on that one. Sure, we'll see her back out here later on today, make another pass. There she goes. Alright, so next up it will be Top Eliminator round number 1. See the TE cars loading into the hot boxes. 295 index for this category. Round number 1. Extremely tight field this weekend. Your number 1 qualifier, Vicky Hall at 295 with a 3. Pretty amazing. The class index 2.95. If you ran a 296.8 like Ron D'Artney, you end up number 5 qualifier. Pretty crazy how tight this field is to the number. So 295 with a 3, your number 1 qualifier, Vicky Hall. We'll see her out in just a moment. She will have a single here in round 1. Her opponent, Mark Puño's, unable to make the call. Had some engine damage on his qualifying lap on Friday. So Vicky Hall will have a single. She'll be first out. And then we'll go into the rest of the pairs in this round. So the water truck's going to make a little pass down through there, get some more moisture in the track. Full day of racing ahead. You got the pro bracket cars coming out. It's like a pretty good group of cars sitting over in the staging lanes already. And then obviously we'll have ongoing eliminations here on Top Alcohol and Top Eliminator. We'll have the final for Top Alcohol. And then Top Eliminator is a 4-rounder, 12 cars in the field. So we'll have 6 back in round 2, 3 back in the semis, and then the final round later this afternoon. So you're watching the National Sand Drag News live stream presented by Good Vibrations Motorsports. Big shout out to the Marr family, Jim, James, the whole crew there for all their support in the NSDN live stream this season. A big shout out to our friends at Avenal Sand Drags, fine folks that put this event on. Great hospitality here. They put on quite a show. So a big thanks to Avenal Sand Drags for all their support. We got all the sponsors here for the Avenal Sand Drags group. All these folks are the ones that put in to make this event happen. So I give them a little TV time. Avenal Lumber, Ron Moran, we'll see him up in a little bit. He did the invocational earlier. A very nice job as usual. Red Warrior, Ron Diartney, Ron Genie, and the whole team over there. I want to give a big shout out to them. They're on board with our coverage this weekend as well. This Pintor. Pintor's tire feel out of Santa Margarita. So big shout out to all the folks that make this happen. And hey, there's our announcer, Dan the Man.
What's happening, folks?
We've got the vantage point from the eye in the sky. Alright, so the water truck is going to do another double pass here real quick, and then we'll be back with round 1 of Top Eliminator, 295 index class. So right now, this is race 3 of the 2018 California Sand Drag Challenge Series, presented by DKBO Design and Build and SunCal Windows. So your current points leader in Top Eliminator is Vicky Hall in the Farmer's Twisted Daughter Drags here. We'll see her out. Tied for second points, Jeff Liston and Jim Rossi. So those are the top 3 that everybody's trying to chase down. Should be some excellent competition here today. The conditions are going to be quite a bit warmer today than they've seen all weekend. High temperature slated to be up around 90. I think the highest temperature we've seen all weekend had to have been somewhere in the low 80s, so it's definitely going to be a warm one out here this afternoon. So it should be interesting to see which cars can speed up to the number here in Top Eliminator. We saw everybody kind of struggle yesterday in the qualifying sessions, and warmer yet from Friday, so we may see some 3.0s, some 3.05 somewhere in there, and win some rounds today. But we did just see some really good numbers in Top Alcohol. So here in round 1, the track's definitely there. So it is definitely going to be interesting. Like I said, first out, we're going to get a good gauge of what the track will hold, as Vicky Hall will be up on her solo shot. Vicky's been the picture of consistency this weekend. She started out with a 295, then she ran a 297, then a 296, and then a 298. So the small block power in the Farmer's Twisted Daughter Dragster is definitely on the money this weekend. Alright, the tractors are headed that way, so we'll be at it here in just a moment. Top Eliminator, round number 1 from the 2018 Avenal Sand Drag Spring Nationals in Avenal, California. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in on the live stream this weekend. We'll have quite a bit of live action today with the heads-up categories coming out, and then we'll definitely be doing some pro bracket action as eliminations get going in those classes. We had some great racing yesterday. The Saturday Pro Gambler, Kevin Williams, took the win in his orange Larry Minor Motorsports built Jeep. Kevin got his second class win of the weekend as he won the 395 index class on Friday night. So Kevin definitely with a great 2 days here at the Avenal Sand Drags. He actually had a commitment at home, so he had to hit the road this morning, but definitely great to see Kevin Williams having the weekend that he did up here. So the field's wide open today. We'll see who can take home the big money. All right, well, the tractors are heading off of the track. And we are just about ready for Top Eliminator round 1. 290. Remember, 295 is the index, 2.95 seconds. So you want to run as close to 2.95 as possible without going quicker. There we go, Vicky Hall from Bosque Farms, New Mexico, Farmer's Twisted Daughter. She'll be over here in the near lane. So Vicky Hall goes 299 with a 5. 299 with a 5 for Vicky Hall. Nice lap, A to B. So Vicky Hall will advance on there on her single run. Like I said, Mark Puños was scheduled to be her opponent, but was unable to make the call. So Vicky Hall will go to round 2 where she will face the winner of this pair. It is going to be Andy Oliveira in the blown small block haltered on the near side up against Aaron Bailey, blown small block dragster over on the far side. Great side-by-side race, 303 to a 306. So 303 for Andy Oliveira, and he will advance to the next round. So Vicky Hall will face Andy Oliveira next round. Vicky will have the lane choice. Great lap for Andy Oliveira, though. He ran a 302 in qualifying, backed it up with a 303 there to get the round win. Looks like we're going to roll the tractors here, and we'll be back with the next set of Top Eliminator cars. You're watching the National Sand